So today we are going to talk about something I bet everyone is wondering, right? Because when I first started playing this game, I had no idea how this game worked. So I spent like crazy for the first account I got, which was in KVK 1, and then I realized I wasted a lot of money. To let everyone know, I spent around 50,000 USD on my KVK 1 account, and I managed to sell for 900 USD to a friend of mine in this kingdom at the end. So I made a whopping $49,100 in profit if you count losses as profit, right? So it's a very, very solid profit if I didn't lose it and I actually made it instead. And obviously there are a lot of regrets because I did all my spending without knowing how this game worked. So that's why I wanted to make a guide with everyone on how this game works, and for people who are currently in KVK 1 or KVK 2, they can have a better understanding of how to best spend and how to get most value out of your money in this game. Okay, firstly, I want to tell everyone this is not your typical guide that you find on Rise of Kingdom YouTuber channels, because most YouTubers are either sponsored by Lilith Games or want to maintain a good relationship with Lilith Game, so they wouldn't ever tell you to, hey, I suggest you to buy an account instead of spending all the money into growing an account from scratch, because it is technically, and I say technically with a big quote unquote, against their terms and service, even though buying and selling accounts is very, very common among this community. And if you're an old player, you would never, and I mean never, start a brand new account and play from KVK 1 again. Okay, so this guide is going to be quite different from a typical guide, and I think it will be better for you guys because you will get a better idea of how you can get most value for your money. So to start, I have actually dedicated a ton of time, probably at least 2 hours, on making this fantastic graph for you guys, so you guys can better visualize what I'm saying. Okay, so obviously there are 3 types of players that usually play Rise of Kingdom, right? There's our typical free-to-play players, low/mid spenders, and high spender players. And I made a roadmap for basically what to do to get the most value out of this game and have the most fun from spending money on it. And I'll start on the top. Okay, so if you're a free-to-play player, please follow this guide closely. Number 1, you're gonna install Rise of Kingdoms on your phone or on your computer. Make an account and start playing on it. After playing on it for approximately 1 hour, you want to delete your account and then uninstall Rise of Kingdom and then play some other games like Minecraft, League of Legends, TFT, or you can go outside, touch some grass, and not be a virgin. The reason why this is the best guide for free-to-play players is because if you're a free-to-play player in Rise of Kingdoms, you're going to be absolutely miserable, because low spenders are going to crush you, mid spenders are going to crush you, high spenders are going to crush you. You're not going to find any fun in this game. I do understand if you want to be a part of management. Like, for example, we have some people, shout out to Joker and TT in our kingdom, who are managing our kingdom very well, and they are free to play players. But the reason why they're free to play is because their cross-season accounts was not able to make it into 3075 due to illegal immigrants and people who were trying to steal and successfully stole our migration slots. Okay, so to be in short, if you're free to play, you should just play another game, because this game is going to be absolutely miserable for you. You're not going to have fun. You're going to wake up one day, see your city getting zeroed, and you're going to cry and want to hug your mom. Okay, so that's my guide for free to play players. The low to mid spenders. Okay, and by low I mean just like if you spent maybe 20 bucks or 30 bucks a month on the account, it's even pretty good. If you actually, like, if it's against your ethics, or you're in a third world country that you cannot possibly spend a single dollar each month on this game, then you shouldn't play. But for low to mid spender players, I have a chart here. Okay, so number 1 is the same as the free to play. You create an account, you install Rise of Kingdoms, right? And then obviously this is a guide for new players. Okay, please keep in mind this is not a guide for old players. I don't think I need to make a guide for old players, because if you don't know how to play this game still when you've been playing it for a couple months or a year, then you probably need to get your IQ checked, because you might be slightly autistic. Okay, so for new players, you start in a new kingdom, do very minimal spending relative to your budget. Okay, what this means, this is very important. So if you think you can spend maybe $200 a month on this game, I would spend maybe $20 or $30 on your K1 account. Okay, do very, very minimal spending. I'll tell you why later on. And then, you know, fight like crazy in KVK1. That's the number 3 step, right? You can essentially zero yourself without repercussion. You don't have to care about what happens to the state of the account afterwards. All you need to do is to have fun. You know, you can use all your gold heads. You can make crazy equipments with the limited resource and number of equipment chests you have. And then just fight like crazy, you know, just have the most fun in KVK1 and just spend very minimal. If your budget, spend 10% of your budget. Okay, that's what I would recommend. And after KVK1, it doesn't matter if you won, you lost, you're pretty invested, right? Because in KVK1, you have 4 kingdoms and you're very invested. Who are your allies? Who are your enemies? Did you win? Did you lose? Who do you hate? Who do you like? After that, you would buy an account. Okay, I'll link a very trusted seller for Rise of Kingdom accounts below. Shout out to Ledung. He actually transacted my second account, which is a 600 million account, from, you know, the seller and buyer. He was the middleman. It is very secure to buy and sell accounts. You will never have a situation where the seller would be able to refund or whatever and try to get their account back. As long as you have a trusted middleman like Ledung, you'll be able to secure your account 100%. Okay, and if there's any problems, he will be liable. You can literally go ask him for a refund. Okay, so the hard part is also buying an account, right? You need to know what your budget is. So I'll give you an example. If you're able to spend $200 to $500 a month on the game, I would buy an account around 10 times as your monthly budget. Okay, so if you can spend $200 a month, you should buy an account that's $2,000. And the reason for this is because you will save a lot more money in the long run by buying a very good account that's worth a lot more than to buy a very cheap account and try to spend it and try to catch up to everyone else by buying bundles. Okay, and a lot of people think I'm a super kraken by buying 2 insane accounts, one 230 million power and one 600 million power. The reality is actually the reason why I spend so much money on buying these 2 accounts is so I can save money and not buy so many gold chests and bundles. Okay, that's the reality of things. You'll never hear this from another another Rise of Kingdom YouTube channel. I can promise you. And the reason is because, quote-unquote, it's against terms of service of Lilith. Luckily, I don't make money from YouTube. I don't make money from making this type of content. I just enjoy educating everyone and kind of promoting the kingdoms that I play with. So I'm going to tell everyone the truth, right? I'm not going to hold anything back. And so my general rule would be, if you're going to spend, no matter how much you spend monthly, you're going to buy an account 10 times more than what you spend monthly. If you don't have the money right now, I would suggest to stop playing the game, because as long as you're playing the game and you have a budget to spend, you're going to want to spend, because that's how the game is addictive and it kind of creates an incentive for you to buy bundles and stuff. I would suggest just take a pause, save up enough money to buy a decent account, and then move that account over to a kingdom that you like in KVK 2, 3, or 4. Obviously, if you're a new player, you want to move it to KVK 2 because you want to experience the whole KVK 1 to KVK 4 journey, right? Because it goes from 4 kingdoms battling each other in KVK 1 and then 8 kingdoms in KVK 2. And then eventually there might be 40 kingdoms battling together in KVK 4 in Season of Conquest. There's different modes and stuff. I won't go too much into it today. So that is basically my guide for buying an account. But another thing you need to keep in mind is that it is not 100% guaranteed that you can move your account that you bought to the kingdom that you specifically want. And this is going to be a big problem because for KVK 2, there is only 50 cross-season slots. And that means old cross-season accounts that are in Season of Conquest, there's only 50 people that can make it into a certain kingdom. Obviously, they will have 2 to 3 special immigrations that they can pull in players no matter, like basically these special immigrations will allow players to come in no matter what. But usually these special immigration tickets are reserved for big whales or krakens. Okay, so if you're gonna buy a $1,000 account or $500 account, I don't think a kingdom would necessarily let you in unless it's a B seed or a lower kingdom. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. And yeah, so if you once you let's say there's the perfect scenario is you move that account into your old KVK1 account, KVK1 kingdom. Then I would suggest you to make your KVK1 account into a farm. Okay, so if you don't know what a farm account is, go Google it, because you're not playing this game right if you don't know what a farm account is. And obviously the KVK, this is why I said you can play KVK1 with no repercussion, because that account essentially is just going to be farming resources for your main account. And then you can basically unlock whatever budget you have for monthly spending and do it on the main account, right? It doesn't matter if it's $5 a month, $20 a month, you decide, right? So that's the first pathway, okay, for low to mid spenders. As you can see, I have a second row for number 2 and above, right? Because there's a second way of playing this game. A lot of people don't know what a sleeper account is. So basically what that means is after you play KVK1, and as long as you're under 10 million power, you can basically stop playing the game for, I believe, 2 weeks. 2 weeks or 3 weeks, so 14 days or 21 days. Okay, you can double check on it, and you can log back on after a certain number of weeks, and the game will give you a special immigration ticket for you to migrate back to another KVK1 kingdom. Okay, this type of gameplay allows you to save a lot of money because you can essentially just barely spend anything, and once you migrate back, you know, even though you're 10 million power, you can basically save up all the resources and all the speed ups in your backpack and use them in the new kingdom, which makes you which gives you a huge edge, right? And I personally feel like this type of gameplay will be quite boring for some people, because in KVK1 there's a lot of restrictions and it gets kind of repetitive. But obviously for low spenders and you want to have the most fun, you want to be able to feel like you're one of the top warriors in a kingdom, this is one way to go about it. You know, so that is why number 3 is play KVK1 over and over again until you're bored. Which leads us to number 4, which is play Minecraft, League of Legends, TFT, or go touch some grass and quit being a loser version. Because I can't imagine you having too much fun playing KVK1 over and over again. Unless maybe if your mom dropped you when you were little. Okay, so that's basically the second way of playing this game as a low and mid spender. And as a high spender, it is very similar to the first row of low to mid spenders. The only thing I would suggest different is in your KVK1 account, you can kind of spend, you know, you can go crazy. T5 is a bit expensive. If you want to go T5 in KVK1, you probably need 10 grand USD. So, you know, decide that on yourself. If you make $1 million a year, 10K for you is nothing, right? So, go ahead and spend it. But just understand that whatever you spend in KVK1, it's going to be quite redundant once you hit KVK2. The account is going to be quite redundant, right? And a lot of people say, hey, why should I buy an account? I just want to grow my KVK1 account. Yeah, you can definitely do that, but just know that you're going to feel like nothing that you felt in KVK1. Like for example, my KVK1 account, which I got to 140 million power in KVK1 with a full set of legendary gears, and 2 of them got special talent because I refined them, is because I spent a tremendous amount of money in the game during KVK1, right? And during KVK1, I felt like I was a god because every single rally I ran, the reports were godly, right? It was 1-4 trade, 1-5 trade, 1-6 trade. However, once KVK1 ended, that account, which used to be top 1 in Sunset Canyon, is now top 50. I cannot beat all 50 of the cross-season migrants because I did not have the necessary commanders or the necessary gears or the necessary armaments, right? And that is what caused me to buy the 230 million account, because I wanted to be as strong as I was in KVK1 and KVK2. And if I wanted to get there with my original account, number 1 is money, right? I calculated I have to spend at least 200k USD more. to get to that point. And another thing is restrictions, right? Time restrictions. If I want to get there, I cannot get there in a single day because number one, the commanders are not released, and number two, I don't have enough gold heads. Number three, the game restricts you on bundles. You only can buy geared up once a day. You cannot buy geared up 100 times a day, and you cannot buy armaments 100 times a day, right? So there's a lot of downsides to playing an account from scratch, and I feel like a lot of people should know this going into the game because it's kind of like not implied and no one tells you about it until you hit a brick, which is KVK2. So I would be very cautious while I'm playing this game and educate yourself because this game is not a brain dead game like Farmville or all the other AFK games. This game is quite strategic and you need to really think about how you spend money because this game is not cheap to play, and in order to have a fun time, I think you need to plan out your spendings accordingly. Okay, let me know if this guide is helpful to everyone, and let me know if you like this type of content because this is like one of the first different type of content other than my old account review and Sunset Canyon guides. Okay, if you like it, please give it a like and subscribe. Thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.